All right, so today we're going to be going over a P0353 code, which is ignition coil C, primary slash secondary circuit. The first thing I would recommend is buying a book for this car because it's going to be the best $25 you ever spent. I had a horrible time trying to figure out ignition sparks and, the locations for them. But I've actually had this code twice. The first time it was actually, and then we'll show you here. So the first time I had this code, it was actually one of these wires was up against here, and it was actually shorting to the it was grounding there essentially. So make sure you check all your wires first. And now the second step is to make sure that we are actually getting a spark to the spark plug. Now, normally I had a tool for this, but I lost it at some point. So I'm just going to see if we can show you at least what I was looking for last time, because I essentially bought a whole new ignition coil pack for $100, and it was an absolute waste. Alright, now normally what I would try to do is pop this guy off a little bit, and I'd just leave him loose. You can pull this off, and you can actually kind of see the spark there. Actually I can't see it. Oh, you can definitely hear it though. And then what I would try to do is see if I can see, or actually I was hearing it while I was trying to go over it with you guys the first time. But I could not see it, so you'd probably have to wait until nighttime to physically see it. If you want, you can just buy the tool. You're going to go on and watch another video on that. But yeah, I could literally hear it and I could see it once it was nighttime. So you might just want to wait, hold it close, and you should be able to actually hear it clicking. But do be careful because you don't want to get hit with this. It hurts worse than, a fly swatter. I wouldn't know. Haven't been bitten by one of these yet, but ooh, you don't want to. Now, if you've tried all of those things and you are getting spark, and you don't notice any issues with the wires, and you have determined essentially is getting spark there, the next thing you want to do is get a Noid Light kit. Technically, you could just buy the bulb you need for the car, which, what is it? It's like a GMPFI, but you're just going to pull this little guy off here, you're going to put him on, and then you're going to start the car. And this guy's going to let us know what's going on, at least when it comes to the voltage going to the injector. So we're going to turn the car on here, and I'm going to let you listen. I'm going to mute the mic so you don't have to hear that garbage. And if you could tell, that cut out after literally just a little bit of running. So the next thing you're going to want to do is check the wires from here all the way to the computer. But I mean, we were technically getting spark. So I mean, we were getting voltage and then it went away. So I actually ended up going to eBay and getting a used computer because I'm not spending like $120, $200. I don't have the money for that kind of stuff. So I bought a used one. Luckily, they said it was tested. I should hopefully have the information of those guys up here if you want to try and get your own or whatnot. And we will put the new computer in and see if it fixes it. Spoiler, I already know. That's why I'm doing this video. I'm so happy. And then always make sure that you disconnect the battery whenever working around or near the computer. You do not want to ruin expensive parts by accident. Looks pretty bad, doesn't it? Well, this one actually has the QA test, so that's actually the good one. Bet you wouldn't believe that that's the crummy one. No. This is the good one. Anyways, I just had to make a little joke here, but we'll put it in. Now, one thing to note real quick, this is going to be our number, by the way. This is the one you're going to want to try and find to get the exact match. You do not want these letters to be off. This F8DF-12A650-ZA. Now, yours will probably be different unless you got the exact same style car I do. So just make sure you are very careful with those numbers because you don't want to spend the money on the wrong computer, obviously. All right, and just to finish everything up, we're going to go over everything one more time. First thing you're going to want to do is make sure you don't have any issues on the wires or anything, because like I said, it was grounding to some of those back wires, and that's going to be the cheapest. The next thing you're going to want to do is make sure you're actually getting spark at the plug, so it's not essentially confirming it's not the coil. And then after that, you're going to want to purchase your Noid Light kit. Anyways. It was essentially cutting out as soon as it went back down to low idle, just so you guys have a little more information. And after that Noid light was cutting out, I still checked the wires running from here to the computer, but they obviously were good. I mean, we were getting spark on the startup. Don't be dumb like me. Don't just assume it's like the ignition coil and spend $100 to find out you're dumb. You can do that at home, not spending any money. And then the other thing I want to point out is, luckily I had this one. I don't actually know what was happening with the second one because, it runs two banks. Anyway, so I actually don't know what it was looking like under here because I wasn't going to pull the whole manifold off to get to it to then look at it and then put it back and whatnot. So just so you know, I was only working off of this one while I was trying to diagnose it. Other than that, make sure you get yourself a mechanic book so that way you're not confusing yourself. You're not accidentally getting the wrong information on some different car because they don't have the info. Again, just buy the book. It's $25. It's the best $25 you'll ever spend. All right. Other than that, make sure the numbers are all the same if you're going to be purchasing a computer. I got one that was luckily tested. I mean, I don't know what your situation will be, but I'll bring up the eBay link or whatnot so that way you guys have it. And then, be smart. Double think before you do stuff. And then, like I said, I didn't have the money, so I had to buy a used one. And you know what? I'm so happy I did it. So, perfect. Just so you know, though, my initial thoughts before I figured out it was quality tested and whatnot is I figured even if it moves to a different cylinder or a different spark, at least I know that, the problem's working its way down the line and that it's not the computer. So, anyways, other than that, well, that still technically doesn't work, but car stuff can be weird. So, be smart. Try not to just keep buying new parts and buy a book if you can. All right.